Hello and welcome to Beletahunter Productions Publishing. Today we will address the I've lost my job. Now what do I do subject. Thank you and stay tuned. Hello, today I turned 60 years old. And guess what? I lost my job.
John, I'm so sorry, but we're gonna have to let you go.
So, it has finally happened. Yeah, you tried to hang on for the last year or so during the crisis that was going on, but your company just could not handle it. The pandemic got the best of it, and so it finds itself letting their employees go one at a time. And now, today, you got the bad news that not only is it your 60th birthday, but you just found out that you've lost your job. So now, what do you do?
Man, shoot! I can't believe they did this. All those years I've given them? How could they do that to me?
So, what do you do? After the initial shock has worn off, you are to start recognizing that fundamental unseen vulnerability. Yes, you may have many thoughts and emotions happening at the same time right now. You may be thinking, how dare they? I have given them my best years. You may also be thinking that you just don't have what it takes. But the first thing you need to do after the shock has worn off is to sit down and recognize some of the thoughts and emotions that you are experiencing and to deal with them one by one.
When are you gonna stop telling that lie that you retired? You didn't retire. Tell everybody what happened. Let them know. You did not retire. You got fired.
One of the emotions that you may be experiencing is one of embarrassment. Yeah, some people feel as if it is an embarrassment because to be fired seems as if it is a form of failure. We refuse to admit that is a possibility, that it was something that is beyond our control. Sometimes being let go of your job has absolutely nothing to do with you, and at other times it has everything to do with you. Nevertheless, just deal with your emotions, acknowledge them, deal with them, and move on. One of the ways to move on is to admit it to yourself by saying it out loud. Yeah, stop telling people that you retired. Stop telling them that you're on a vacation. Stop telling them that you are working from home. Stop telling them all of these lies. You need to admit it. Admit it to yourself and admit it to others. In order to move forward, you need to be honest. So say it. Say it out loud. Say it as loud as you can. Let them know that guess what? It happened. And another reason why you need to get used to saying it, because when you do move forward, say for instance, to your next place of employment, the subject is probably gonna come up. So you need to become familiar with it and comfortable with talking about it. So, what do you do when that subject comes up? Yeah, that boogeyman is going to come up in your next job interview. How are you going to handle it? Well, one thing you need to do is get your story straight. Pick a narrative. Pick a narrative, do your homework, and stick with that narrative. This is what happened and why. Now, this is not the time to go on some crazy rant saying things like, they were out to get me all along. I aged out because they didn't want to pay me for my experience because I was making too much money. They want the new people in so they can pay them at base rate. This is not the time to do this. So you want to be calm and you want to have your thoughts together. So be prepared. Get your story straight. Pick your narrative and stick to it. Well, right now I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Before thinking about that next endeavor or that next job, there are some things that you still need to do concerning yourself to ensure that maybe there is not a repeat of the same situation. So there are things that you need to do when you have lost your job long before you go and look for the other job. So stay tuned. Use this time as an opportunity to look for hidden blessings. One may say, what could possibly be a blessing about losing a job? But you will be surprised at how your life is not as horrible as you think that it may be. There are several benefits to not having a job. Anyone who knows me and has read any of my books will say that I truly believe that from the bottom of my heart. That is not just a talking point. There are so many advantages. So now is the time to sit back because time is all you have, right? You have a lot of it. Sit back and think. Evaluate your life. Find out, is there a purpose to what just happened? Reevaluate your finances. That's correct. You may actually have far more money than you think you have. I know that sounds crazy, doesn't it? But the amount of money that you may receive from your severance, unused vacation time, and qualification for unemployment benefits may either equal what you were making on your current job or it may exceed. So evaluate your finances. You may need to do some budget adjustments, but you will soon find that adjusting your budget is probably still better than when you were hustling and bustling to the workplace. So one thing you need to do, sit down, write down all of your expenses and all of your bills for the month. Then write down all of the money that you currently have on hand. Then write down the amount of money that you will have coming in. Like I stated before, are you entitled to any type of severance? You've been on your job for more than 5 years? Probably so. Do you have some unused vacation time? Most definitely so, because a lot of people have been working from home. They were not able to go on vacations, so they weren't able to use their vacation time. So you probably had some vacation time saved up. So you're probably entitled to 2, 3, 4, maybe 8 weeks worth of vacation time. Then, depending on the reasons that they gave you for your termination, you may be entitled to some other type of benefits and compensation, such as unemployment benefits. This will be the time to reevaluate your finances. During your reevaluation or evaluation of your finances, you may discover that your job was actually costing you money. Yes, that is true. Even though you were making money, your job was also costing you money. So some of the money and expenses that your job was costing you other than your time is the commuting fees, parking fees, the upkeep of your automobile, the upkeep of your wardrobe to be in adherence to the dress code. So that will be something else that you can look in your pros and cons category to see. Now that I am no longer working, can I save money? One, the amount of money I was using to take my clothes to the cleaners every week. Some people spend an average of $300 to $400 to have their clothes, their dress clothes clean for work. Others pay a lot of money for transportation. They spend money on subway, metro fees, money for gasoline for the car, money for toll access, and money for carpooling. Others spend money on things such as lunches. How much money was I spending to have breakfast in the morning when I stop off to grab that donut and coffee? How much money was I spending when I was having lunch? How much money was I spending when I was stopping off on my way home from work to grab something because I was either too tired or too late to come home and cook a meal? So those are some things that you can look at, and those fees can offset the amount of money that you think that you are not bringing in now that you no longer have that job. Now that you've dealt with your emotions and you have reevaluated your finances, now it's time for you to reevaluate your time. You're going to have a lot of free time now since you don't have to hustle to the office from 9 to 5 every day. So, what exactly are you going to do with that time? That time could be used to spend with family members and loved ones. That time could be spent doing things that you could not do when you had a job. So, it's a good time now to evaluate your time. Do you have a spouse that's at home that isn't working either? Maybe you had a spouse that has retired already. Now it's time for the two of you to spend some time getting to know each other all over again. Do you have children at home that you have been neglecting because of your work schedule? Now is the time for you to spend that time with those children. What about that pet? Right? When you first got him, you were all into him. Over the last couple of years, you barely spoke to him. Now is the time for you to get refamiliarized with your pets. What about your neighbors in your neighborhood? What about your community? What are all of the things that you were missing out on that you could not do because of your work schedule? Now is the time to look at those things, reevaluate your time, and you will discover that you were missing out on a whole lot. And that time can now be recaptured now that you are free. Now that you have reevaluated your finances and your time, you're going to want to reevaluate yourself. Now is the time for you to reinvent your future. What is it that you want to do going forward? Sometimes reevaluating and planning for your future may include reevaluating your personal development. What do you want to do next? Do you want to re enter the workforce? And if you do, are you prepared? What are some of the things you can do to get yourself ready to do that? Or have you discovered that you would rather not do that? Have you decided that, you're actually enjoying that time? And at age 60, you're probably in a good position where you can actually forego that and enjoy the rest of your years. But now is the time for you to reinvent your future. What do you want to do with the remainder of your time? Do you want to use it for travel? Do you want to use it for personal hobbies? Do you want to use it for family and friend time? Do you want it to rediscover yourself? Do you want to use it to learn a new skill or a new hobby or a new habit or to learn a new language? It is up to you. But this is the opportunity now for you to reinvent yourself. Today I turned 60 and I lost my job. I learned a lot of things about myself. So, what are you going to do if it happens to you? Hello, my name is Tanya Hunter, and thank you for listening to this excerpt today. Today, we talked about some things and some emotions that people are experiencing when they find themselves without a job. I hope this information was helpful and that you could pass it along to someone that may benefit from it. Again, thank you for watching.